My name's Ben Lefebvre and I work for truGym in Stockton. I've worked in the industry for about 19 years and I've been a personal trainer for 12 years. Before I was a personal trainer, I started off as a lifeguard first. So I started off in lifeguard and then went into gym instruction and then went on to personal training.
Fantastic.
So always in the same fields.
Where were you a lifeguard?
Lifeguard for Stockton Council.
Right.
And then I went to work for a company called Springs, which was a local health company, and then for Fitness First and truGym. I think when I was younger, I was a little bit on the heavier side.
Right.
And when I went to senior school, got quite a lot into sports, which was quite helpful for me on controlling weight, etc.
Yeah.
And it's then something I just thought I would like to help other people with, and that's how we ended up coming into this industry. I train 4 times a week. I teach a lot of classes, so most of my heart and lung training, sweaty training, calorie training, whatever you want to call it, is predominantly done in classes. So generally do that in my spinning classes, and then weight training on top of that I try to do 3 times a week.
Right. But how much exercise do you think you have to do to make a difference on a sort of weekly basis? How many times and what sort of duration?
I think it all depends on what your goals were. For general health, and it would depend on where you're starting from. But for someone who's just looking to get into training, maybe sat there at the moment on the couch thinking I need to start doing something, then I'd strongly encourage people to train 2 to 3 times a week, 20 to 30 minutes to get them going. We'd always encourage a little bit of a split. A lot of people get into their treadmills, the cross trainers, walking, running. We'd strongly encourage people to get into their resistance training as well, with osteoporosis, arthritis, things like that on the increase. Resistance training can be massively effective with that. So if we could get people from doing nothing to training 2 to 3 times a week for 30 to 40 minutes, a little bit of resistance, a little bit of the sweaty stuff, and then that would be a great start.
Is there a good time of the day to train?
My answer to that would be whatever time is best for you. There is lots of myths about different times that you should train better for burning calories, etc. But generally, for me, a lot of training to do is emotionally, how you're feeling emotionally. So if you find that you're someone who is at the best on a morning, then I'd strongly encourage that that's when you train. If you're someone who's better on an evening, then that's when I'd strongly encourage you to train. Because if you're feeling like training, you're more likely to do it more effectively and at a higher intensity. So for me, the answer would be don't worry specifically about when people are saying to train, think about when's best for you.
How much should you eat before you exercise?
I would say there's 2 answers to that. Once again, my strong encouragement would be to see how the individual feels after the vet, because each individual will be different. But we generally make sure that you've had at least enough energy to support the workout you're doing. I.e. if you've come in first thing in the morning and you've not ate at all and you're trying to do a heavy resistance training session, then the body's really going to struggle to provide you with the energy to do that. So although we'd encourage that you leave time for digestion, which may be an hour to 90 minutes of time, we'd definitely encourage that you eat something to help you. So the amount again would be specific to the individual, but contrary to belief where people would maybe think not to eat, so they're burning more calories and more fat, I'd strongly encourage you to eat so you can train at a more appropriate optimum level for what you're looking to do.
And what about afterwards, and in terms of refueling, what should you be doing?
There's 2 things mainly to remember, and I'll answer it in 2 questions. One is hydration, is that we can only absorb about 800 millilitres of water per hour. So when you're training, you can lose up to 3 times that. So definitely when it comes to hydrating ourselves, we want to make sure that we drank pre-training, throughout our training and after training. From a point of view of refueling our body, protein is essential. It doesn't have to be in the form of a shake. It can be in the form of just simply having a piece of chicken or sandwich if you want to. But it's to make sure that after we've trained that you're giving something to support your muscle growth, so that basically the body isn't breaking down muscle for the training you've just done. It's fueling it so it can keep on developing.
And do you need that protein intake even after a cardio workout rather than a resistance one?
Absolutely. We're still putting the body under fatigue. We're still needing to get our fuel back up again. So we'd strongly encourage you to take on fuel after any training.
When you're at home, how much space do you need to be able to effectively work out?
Safety-wise, as long as you've got enough room, literally probably about a square and a half square or metre and a half square would probably do your workout for you. The workout that we're going to be looking at today is pretty much all on one spot. So as long as you've got enough room to lay yourself down and to stand yourself up safely, then you've got real no issue. So if we were to do this routine in club, we call it the 100 workout. We're simply going to do 10 exercises, 10 repetitions of each, or 10 seconds depending on which one we're doing. So I'm going to demo both sections of the workout to begin with. We're going to go through 5 resistance exercises and we're going to go through 5 cardiovascular exercises or calorie burning exercises. When we're doing the resistance workout, we want to make sure that we're hitting our major muscle groups, the big ones, because that's our biggest potential for burning calories. But also if we hit the big muscle groups, we're going to hit the small muscle groups as well. For example, if I'm working the chest, I'm also going to be working the back of the arms and the shoulders. Okay, so what we're going to start with is a squat. All we want to do from here is to make sure that wherever our toes are pointing, that the knees point in the same direction. So don't worry too much about whether you're doing a narrow squat with everything facing forwards, or whether you'd feel more comfortable coming a little bit wider with the toes pointing out to the sides. As long as your knees follow your toes. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll demonstrate as a package. What we're going to be doing is one section from the toning side, from those 5 toning exercises, followed by one of the exercises from the heart and lung, from the calorie burning side. It doesn't matter too much which order you do it in, as long as we try to use all those exercises we go through. So I'll demo it for you and then go from there. So look for 10 reps, a nice control. And then we're going to take our first section of CV, our jumping jacks. So remember, whichever level you're comfortable with. And then back to our toning section, we're going to go to those press-ups. So whichever level you're happy with. Then we stand it up, back to our CV section, so we're going to go scissors, pump with the arms as well, and then we're going to go to our lunges. So we step forwards, big power out, nice and straight. Last 2. Then we're going to go to our crisscrosses, so right leg, right arm, left leg, left arm, good. Then we're going to go our plank rows, so we go down. Wider the legs, the more stable it is. That little opening up of the chest. Then we're going to go for our sprints. So nice and quick, feet on the floor. Push them down as quickly as you can. Then we go down to our sit-ups. So remember, keep those arms nice and straight, a little squeeze at the top. Last 2. And then we stand up and we finish with our twist, nice and quick. So what we've just demonstrated there is the workout we like to call the 100 workout. 10 exercises, 10 seconds or 10 repetitions of each, and you can do that as many times as you want to. So remembering guys, when you're getting used to it, you can use those different levels we talked about. We'd really like to see you doing this 2 to 3 times a week maybe to get going, and why not maybe increase that to 4 as you get used to it. But remember, think about the intensity as much as the time that you're doing it.